Do you think baseball, you're more of a baseball fan than a hockey fan?
I'm more of a baseball fan than an anything fan because I grew up playing baseball. Did not grow up playing hockey. Not a lot of places. Yeah, I'd been skating. First time I had ever been skating was in Los Angeles, but it wasn't exactly the most. Yeah, you grow up in South Central LA. You're going to play basketball. You're going to play baseball. The part of LA that I lived in was predominantly Mexican American. A lot of baseball fans, a lot of people. Fernando Valenzuela was huge when I lived in LA. So there was a Fernando mania going on. They won the World Series in '81. So there was a lot of, all my friends were into baseball. I remember the first time I realized there was such a thing as bandwagon fans is when my best friend Hector decided he was an Orioles fan after the Orioles won the World Series. I'm like, what about the Dodgers? Like, well, the Orioles won. But the Dodgers. Yeah, I've never understood that whole jumping team sort of thing and getting on the bandwagon. I don't mind rooting for stories, good stories, and appreciating good teams.
The Red Sox.
The Red Sox, that was a great story. I did not, when they won the World Series, and to get to the World Series, they were down 3-0, and everybody thought they were done. Boston fans thought they were done. And why not? They hadn't won a World Series in 86 years.
Right.
Now it's just the Cubs. 100 years, well, over 100 years now without a World Series.
Wow.
1908.
Wow.
Last season. Well, it makes me wonder, is there anyone in Chicago who's been a Cubs fan all their life that was actually alive the last time the Cubs won a World Series?
Oh. I'm sure we can find someone.
I don't know. I don't know. That's like 104, right? That's not.
Hey, they live longer. 114 is the oldest.
Yeah. I don't think you could be a Cubs fan and live that long. It's just, being a Cubs fan has got to be hard on the body at some point. It's the mind.
Were you ever a Braves fan at all?
No.
Never?
But remember, the Braves used to be in the same division as the Dodgers, which never made sense to me, but I guess because they moved from Milwaukee to Atlanta. Mm-hmm. But so for the longest time, the Braves and Dodgers were sort of rivals. I say sort of rivals. They were rivals as much as the Dodgers and Cincinnati Reds were, being in the same division. They were just division rivals. Mm-hmm. Wasn't like Giants Dodgers, which, I'll root for when we were in the same division, I would root for Atlanta when they were playing San Francisco. Couldn't give a shit less what they were doing otherwise. But, same as now is pretty much. For some reason, when I lived in Virginia, there were a lot of Braves fans, mm-hmm. which made no sense to me. I didn't even know where that comes from. I mean, it really is that the closest team to? I guess it is. I mean, or was then, because now they have the Washington Nationals. I wonder if they root for them because I know they root for the Redskins in Virginia.
That is, I think, the closest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now that they have the Washington Nationals, that would be the closest. But at the time, you're right. That or the Baltimore Orioles would have been the closest. But where I lived in Virginia Beach, you had the Tidewater Tides, which was like the minor league team for the Mets. So I could see people rooting for the Mets. And when I moved to Virginia, I had just moved from New York. And I kind of rooted for the Mets when I got there. Of course, not when they were playing the Dodgers. But it was the Mets fans. When I went to games to see the Dodgers and wearing my Dodger hat at Shea Stadium, it was the Mets fans that made me dislike the Mets. So.
Oh, gosh. But back to football, the Steeler fans aren't so bad.
Unless you're a Cleveland fan, I guess. Well, the Steelers missed the playoffs this year, so.
Yeah, but they've got some loyal fans.
They've got a very great fan base. Mm-hmm. there are certain teams that just have amazing fans. You know, you kind of feel for them. You kind of like understand and appreciate just how passionate they are about their team. Pittsburgh Steelers was one of those groups of fans. Don't care for the Philadelphia fans in general. They tend to be nasty. Yeah, I mean, these are the people that booed Santa Claus one year. I mean, come on. Not that I really care about Santa Claus, but come on. I mean, you're just going to boo him in a basketball game, really? Yeah. Other fans.
Cold-hearted bastards. I'm just kidding.
Well, Cleveland, very great loyal fan base. More for football. See that passion for the football teams. Yankees fans, great passionate fans. Would not want to. They're hostile towards any other fan, though. I think Boston fans are the same way.
Yes.
Or you kind of appreciate.
I don't know.
You appreciate.
I think the Yankees fans are a little more hostile than the Red Sox fans.
I don't know. I think it's about even, honestly.
You think so?
Yeah. I think we like to hate on the Yankees fans a little more because they've had the most success.
If you haven't already noticed, I'm a Red Sox fan.
It makes no sense to me, but okay.
I don't like the Yankees.
It makes sense. You have to be a Yankees fan to like the Yankees. It's the same with the Lakers and the Celtics. You know, people don't like those teams unless they love those teams. You know, they're teams that people love to hate. You know, but they have great fan bases. You know, Lakers have great fan base. I think the Dodgers have a good fan base. They've broken attendance records over the years. Boston has a great fan base. The Yankees have a great fan base. Maybe I'm biased on the Mets, but you know what? They have a good fan base. You know, but I wouldn't put them in the same category as like Pittsburgh or Cleveland that just have great overall fans that aren't necessarily going to threaten to kill you if you're wearing another team's jersey.